What's going on, guys? It's your boy Josiah Manuel Salina, aka Joe Memo. I've decided to retitle some of my episodes I'm going to be doing in the future now because, I'm always retitling. I never can find like a consistent thing to stick with because of, trying different ideas to see if they work. And we'll see what sticks as we continue to move in the future. But I guess I'm going to keep it simple to go along with my music theme and just call this Did You Get the Memo Vlog Edition. So this will be the first episode of Did You Get the Memo Vlog Tryouts. So this is just a couple random thoughts. There's no racist intent here as a preface. This is just telling y'all from my experience as a music performer and stage performer the different feedback I've gotten from three major audiences that I've had the privilege, honor, and blessing of doing the most amount of performances for. And then the difference in response with each audience. And again, this is not any judgment on any of those audiences or any like bitterness or anything like that. This is more just my evaluation from my experiences so far with these three major audiences. So actually, I'm just trying to... It's actually four major audiences, forgive me. There could be a couple more subpar... Well, not subpar. Like what's the best word to put this? Other rabbit trail audiences? I don't know really a better way to put it. But anyway... So, first of all, thank you to everyone who's ever given me an opportunity to perform on stage, music-wise. I know when I first started, a lot of those opportunities were taken by force through changing those who knew me as a scripture quote boy before my dad would preach. And then I started turning those opportunities into song opportunities to share. So I know I tried to catch a lot of people off guard and by surprise when I did that. So now this is now sharing my life experience since I've made that transition on how my audience response has either improved, changed, or evolved since then. So, I'm wondering if I should start with the more critical audiences first or start with the more exciting audiences first. I'll start with the more exciting ones first. So, from my personal experience, and again, not dissing anyone else out there, I have never gotten a better response for doing music on stage than from African people. African people, from my experience, and again, this is going to be different for everybody. From my experience, they care the most about a strong melody in a live performance. Strong melody, strong energy. As long as they can build a hype around what you're doing in that live moment, they will get excited. It doesn't matter what appeals to them, whether it's the beat, your voice, your energy. Even if everything else is wrong about the performance or terrible about the performance, as long as one thing stands out to them, they'll respond. They don't have to have all the bells and whistles or everything going right. As long as one thing is winning them over, they respond to that. And I gotta be the most grateful to the African audience for giving me probably the loudest screaming responses or sing-along responses that I've ever witnessed in my life. There's never been a more energetic audience to perform for, and I've been really blessed by this audience. So, shout out to all my African peeps. Now, the more in-between ones, I would have to say would be like the Spanish and Indian audiences. Let me start with the Indian audiences first. First of all, before I get to the critical side of the Indian audience, and this could be Indian, Pakistani, brown skin, South African Indian, West Indian, everything in between. Basically, to preface this, I gotta credit, even though the African audience has been the best responders, they may or may not necessarily have been giving me the most opportunities to share my gift. I have to credit this to the Indian audience. The Indian audience has always been like, especially with people like Pastor Rufus Ellapa back in the day, quite a few other Indian pastors I know of in South Africa, a few I know in the West Indies. None have been more gracious at giving me opportunities to do songs in front of church audiences, live audiences, etc. Again, albeit I may have taken these opportunities by force in the beginning, these people gave me more opportunities as they saw where I was going with it or what potential talent I had in this area to reach young people. So I appreciate them for that. They have given me tons of doors and opportunities at the peak back in the day, even though those days are long gone now, hopefully not for too much longer. I appreciate for the time period that they served me and I was able to serve them. So yeah, now with the more critical side of things, the Indian audience, I would say, they will react. They will give you opportunity, but have a hard time reacting. For me, when it comes to Indian audience, they respond better to studio music than they do live music. Unlike the African people, I think the African people, they are a lot more critical when it comes to studio music, but a lot more acceptable when it comes to live music. Well, I think Indians are the opposite. They respond heavily to studio music if they think the song is hot. But once a song is live, they have to have all the bells and whistles and everything in between to be impressed. So I would say Indians are a lot tougher to perform for live than they are in studio cases. I may delve deeper into that in this video or another video, but shout out to my Indian fam. I love you guys as well. From my experience, I've had a much harder time winning y'all over in person, as opposed to competing with artists that you love in studio. Now, when it comes to the Spanish Latin community, my experience with this community has always been a mixed bag. In my opinion, they're the most unpredictable audience ever to perform for, especially if your songs are not in Spanish. Again, that's not a diss. Of course, obviously, if you know Spanish, it's going to be a lot more easier to win over Spanish people. That's just the way the world works. You speak the language, that's how you win the mind over. That's a godly principle. God will never talk to his children in a language they don't understand. He'll try to get someone to translate what he's trying to say to them. Anyway, besides that rabbit trail, I've had certain Spanish audiences that responded very well to any music I've done. Then I've had Spanish audiences that have been very mixed or in between or shy about sharing their opinion on my music. So when it comes to Spanish people, I would say the younger audience is a little more difficult than the older audience, but at the same token, they still are very unpredictable. You never know if they're going to respond well to your music or not so well to your music. So, let's just say in a nice way, they're the audience with the most surprises. All right, now, again, this is not a diss to white folk. And again, I don't like breaking people down like this. It's just, very divisive for the human race. It's just seeing people by skin color and stuff like that. And I know that probably self-defeats the purpose of this video. But I'm just being honest from my experience. White people, in my opinion, and again, I love y'all, are the most difficult to impress with my music. Now, again, this may be different for a whole lot of y'all. Probably people watching this video find white people the easiest to please, and I applaud you for that. But from my personal music, songs I write, songs I perform, some of them will be like the Latin community and give me a very good response, or even if they have a hard time expressing their response, they'll at least let me know that, hey, that's a really good thing you did there, Josiah. Keep it up for the glory of God. But I noticed with white people, and again, not judging, or maybe I am, unless you are like a serious chart topper, or like you are being heard all over the radio in their town or their suburb or community or country, they really don't care how good your performance is. Like, you have to have like some residential. I'm mixing up resume with credentials. That was silly. You have to have some serious credentials on your resume. Maybe, yeah, in their residency, in order to impress them. Like, if you ain't got the numbers, the likelihood of you getting noticed by the white church audience, well, from my experience, is not going to be that high. In my opinion, I feel like they look more to cosigns more than any other audience. And again, I could be very wrong on this, and everyone could have a whole different experience on this. But at the same token, I've found them to be some of the most gracious people in the church, even though they're very, very, very difficult to impress. From a technical standpoint or whatever. But all said and done, I just wanted to have a little fun with this video, sharing with some of my personal experiences. At the end of the day, these opinions are only opinions. They don't matter in the sense of eternity and what the church is all about in the first place. This is just me sharing from my music performance experience. I love you guys. I thank you for listening. I really appreciate everyone that was mentioned in this video. To any audiences I haven't performed yet, whether it be Chinese or mixed or anything in between, I really pray that I get the opportunity one day to do that. God willing. May God continue to honor each one of us in our own lane, and with the ups and downs, may we never forget that whether our audience is impressed or unimpressed, the only person that should be impressed with what we're doing is God himself. And to be honest, none of this even impresses God. The only thing that even is going to impress God is a lifestyle of righteousness. And even that won't mean anything to him if we haven't fully surrendered to his son, Jesus Christ. So, anyway, love you guys. Take care. Hope y'all got a little bit of a laugh in this video. Hopefully in a non-guilty way. Take care. Love y'all.